But we are getting to our grand finals, and what does that mean? That means if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup champion. Will it be one Zerg player or the other? Up to you to make that decision.
Yeah, figure it out. Is it gonna be the Zerg player from Korea? Or the Zerg player from Korea? Gonna be the papi? Or the puppy? As predictions are now on the way. Gonna have about 2 minutes after this announcement. Here we are kicking things off on Oceanborn. We're here in the bottom right hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right. We of course have our blue Zerg player coming out from Atlanta, Korea. He is of course going to be representing Talon Esports. We have Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Vitality, going Hashgat's pool. It is Solar.
Alrighty then.
I haven't made Shakshuka in a while. I miss it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. This time I have a fresh tomato available, so throw that in too.
It's even better.
Oh, I forgot to add the other spice factor. I threw in a spicy sausage for volume.
Okay.
That was another thing that I overcorrected on.
Oh, the spice. Did you have something to balance it? Because I know you had like potato. You had your shredded potatoes with it.
I didn't this time.
Because
I was like, one, I felt like I didn't have enough time, but also two, with that tomato I added in the pan, I was like, yeah, I don't think I need more volume. Because I threw in that tomato, I threw in that spicy sausage. I was like, yeah, I don't need to throw in potato. I did toast some bread behind that, so
okay.
That was some
kind of bread. So like naan bread.
Sliced bread.
Okay.
Tip top, son. You know.
Okay.
Good on your mum.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's a slogan, right? That's a slogan.
It's not really a thing.
Son.
It's not really a thing here in Australia. In Australia, it's all about the Wonder White. Do you have that?
Did Super Walk lie to me?
You could be thinking about something else.
Not huge. Is Tip Top not like dominant in Australia?
I'm looking it up.
Is the slogan not Tip Top's the one? Good on your mum.
I need you to calm down.
Is it not?
You need to calm down.
Did Super Walk lie to me?
I looked it up. No, this is a thing here. Yeah, this is a thing here, but it's less popular. It's
Yeah. It only shows up on YouTube videos, I guess.
Nah, it's just cheaper.
That's why.
Yeah. As we are settling into our Ling Bailey rush for the time being, third base is on the way. Now, as Hashgat's pull from both Dark and from Solar, bear that in mind. And Ling Bane is moving out across the map for both players. Aggression is upon us, and we'll see how well we can control. As Dark is morphing in his Banelings as we speak. Solar is ready for this, though.
Indeed, he is. Dark, obviously being the aggressor, is about what we've come to expect, and I think what Solar has expected as well, as he was, very prepared to deal with this.
Oh, yeah, so far so good. Solar shuts down the Banelings that would have been connecting into the natural. At the same time, we shut down the Banelings at the third base, and Solar has defended. Meanwhile, across the map, Lings, they slip into the main. 2 drones go down. Solar, he defends, he attacks. He is looking on top of this, at least for now, but more Banelings are on the way.
More Banelings are on the way. A lot of Lings are in production as well here for Dark. He knows that he hasn't dealt enough damage to transition. Huge Baneling connection on the majority of Solar's Lings, but now he's got Queens out.
He's got Queens, and he's got Roaches popping out. Yeah, Roaches popping out as we speak. Again, hashtag Roaches here for Solar. He cleans up the Lings in the main base. At the same time, Dark, he gets us up the Queens.
Yeah, we'll be able to take out a couple of them. Banelings are going to get sniped by the Roaches, however, but the third hatch is getting low. Baneling does connect, but there's just so many Lings that the third will fall regardless. Roaches are now out here for Solar, and so he might be looking to counterattack, and that's absolutely something Dark has to get ready for.
Exactly, Dark. He has done the damage he was hoping for, but now can we survive the counterattack? Roachborn is halfway done for Dark. He can only work with Ling Bane here for the time being, but so far he's just keeping Solar pinned back. Solar, if he moves out, he will lose his third, and Solar doesn't want to go for an all-in. Solar is droning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a rock and a hard place here for Solar, right? If he pushes out, he loses his third. If he doesn't push out, he's just going to have to accept the fact that Dark is ahead. Dark with that third base, he's... Okay, layer timings are about the same. Dark actually a little bit slow in that regard, but even still, Dark, higher worker count, is already able to saturate that base, and is just going to have more production. Perpetually have more production as the game continues.
Yeah, Dark is he's got the better economy, he's got the better production for the time being. Meanwhile, even +1 range on the way here for Dark. So Dark, he's just settling into a better setup. Meanwhile, Solar has potential with his own Roach Warren and with his own Roach play, but alas, this was a lot of catching up to do. The pressure is definitely on Solar here in Game 1.
Yeah, and we'll see where we go from here. We have seen a lot of ZvZs where the player who is behind in a situation like this just builds up a massive Roach army and goes for a very strong timing, trying to catch their opponent while they're in the middle of their transition. A little bit rarer to see, but still something that we see every now and then is just a Spire and a surprise Muta switch as well. So there are definitely options here for Solar. It's not the end of the game for him.
Yeah, there are options tech-wise here for both of our players. We'll see what we embrace. But now Solar, he's moving out with his Roaches. As he moves out with his Roaches, he's droning. He's droning up, he's saturating his third base. That is Overlord speed on the way. Interesting. I'm curious if Solar has plans to go for a follow-up all-in. For now, he is saturating his third base, but we'll see how hard we saturate.
Yeah, as Dark goes up to 65 workers before he starts working more on his army production. Solar, okay, still droning for now. 63.
Yeah, it's getting up to 3 base saturation as well. So both players getting up to 3 bases. Again, with the Overlord speed, Droplords are going to be viable here for Solar. It looks like this could just be to harass. So to harass with Droplords in the natural, in the main, and in the third base. There's a lot of potential here with these Overlords as they are fanned out.
Like so, I'm honestly surprised at how quickly Solar's been able to catch back up against Dark.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit behind when it comes to the upgrades, but supply-wise, he's doing pretty admirably.
Yeah, he's holding his own. He's holding his own here against Dark. Meanwhile, we spoke about Droplords. There it is. Droplord is on the way. Again, the goal here is to get across the map and to get into mineral lines in the middle of these big fights and big engagements to try to catch Dark off guard. But for now, we're in a bit of a lull. We're in a little bit of a brief momentum, or we have some reprieve here from the aggression as both players are calming down and getting into the Roach v Roach.
It's all about the coach.
Poach?
The poach. The sloach.
The Roach?
La Roach? It's all about the brioche. Droplord will get caught out by the queens. All Roaches are able to unload, but yeah, Dark not gonna have too much difficulty cleaning that up. Meanwhile, Lings do manage to sneak into the natural base of Solar, and it does get cleaned up, but also does strike the main army.
Yes, the main army is going to be clashing, but Dark, he overwhelms the army of Solar. Numbers are just too heavily in Dark's favor as he just knocks down the main force. It has access to the fourth base. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 1.
Just like so. GG.
Well played with that. Dark takes a lead. That was a very intense start to the game with the Ling Bane aggression. There was a window of opportunity where Solar could have counterattacked, definitely where he had that Roach advantage, but we spoke about it at the time where if Solar moved out, then he would lose his third base, would be forced into an all-in, which is not quite what Solar wanted there, and Dark does get the advantage in the end, able to hold on to it throughout game 1.
Yeah. Like, so I was convinced that Dark just wasn't gonna have that aggression pay off, right? Especially after Solar was able to get out a couple of roaches. He was doing so well in the defense. And then he pulled a bit of a Mio Micah and took a Baneling to the face.
There you go. Does take a Baneling to the face, and now we're getting into game number 2. We'll see if the Ling Band aggression continues, or if we embrace something quite different on a map as defensive as Amphion.
Or Swarmos.
Yeah.
Possibility. Anyway, gonna continue our series now on Amphion, where we're here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way here in the bottom left. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing Talon Esports. He is, of course, yes, representing Talon Esports. He is, of course, Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Vitality down in this series. Looking to bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Solar. For now, nothing too crazy. It is going to be a hatch first from both players, but we'll keep an eye on the Ling aggression. We spoke earlier about how defendable this map can be. A big reason for that is the ramp coming into the natural, so something like 2-based roach play is a viable option for both Dark and for Solar.
Yeah, especially if you mine out those mineral walls. I see it so clearly.
Yeah, with those mineral
you
walls.
wall off in your you wall off at your natural. You get your roach ward, your evo chamber and whatnot on that ramp, and then you just go around.
Yeah, you can just mine through the patches and take the third base expansion instead. So there is that viability here. So we'll keep an eye on both Dark and Solar to see if they embrace that. For now, you know, it's a little bit too early to tell. The overlords are moving out and we're settling in.
Yeah. Getting into a bit of a normal ZvZ for the time being. Now, here's a question. Why can't borrowed units go on the minerals?
Because
about it.
The minerals, you can see that they like spike up from the ground, and that's also because they're bigger than they seem. They spike down into the earth.
Ah, it's hidden. Okay.
That's why they have to be like excavated, you know?
Yeah. So then here's the other question.
Okay.
Why can't borrowed drones mine?
Borrowed drones?
Yeah, borrowed drones.
True. Why can't they mine?
I guess they can't move when they're underground, but
yeah.
Why can't they? They blind?
They could be. They could be like moles.
It could be. But moles move underground.
They do. So they're like not like moles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be clearer than that. Yeah, I mean, there you go. They're not moles.
Can't be simplified, yeah.
What if when drones burrow underground, they lose their Wi-Fi connection to the overmind, so then they're just like stuck in the stationary? Because they're
exactly the Bluetooth isn't strong enough.
Yeah, it's like they're in a car park,
Exactly.
So the only action they can do is to unburrow, and then the connection establishes again.
Exactly. But do we still have overmind?
We have the Cerebro. Same.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Telstra and Optus. It's the same thing.
Right. It's like the underground cables of the sharks.
Exactly.
Or the underwater cables. There are no underground sharks. That would be terrifying.
No, there are. There's street sharks.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Did you watch
Wait,
Street
but
Sharks
are they on the street
as a kid? Yeah, they're on the street.
Yeah.
All roads lead to road.
Exactly.
As we do,
as we're seeing Solar push out, gonna hit with +1 range.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fake out here from Solo. You can see he moves out, then he moves back home. He's been droning this entire time. Big part of ZvZ here is just faking out your opponent, trying to force an overreaction and trying to force Dark not to make workers. And it works. Dark, he caught workers at 44 and now he has to re-drone. Likewise, Dark doing the same thing. He's moving out, then he should be moving back. Like there's just this kind of ebb and flow of ZvZ.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a game of chicken, if you will. In ZvZ, like, I'm gonna move out, I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna reach your base. Oh no, I'm gonna pull back.
Yeah, yeah. And the scary
one
no,
is, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, the scariest part is when they actually do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game of chicken does continue. Dark, he races back home. We've just been joining up. Dark does take a massive worker lead, getting up to 67 workers, and Solar, he threw down the spine core. Looks like he did fall for it a little bit there. Looks like Solar was getting ready for committed aggression. Alas, there was none. He's still down 10 workers, and he throws down a Spire to help recover. Meanwhile, Dark is already joined up to 3 bases. Now he can focus on his army. Dark, he's already at his almost final form.
Yeah, Drop Lords now on the way. We should be seeing another little German taxi coming out from Dark. I'm worried for him, though, as that Spire has gone completely unscouted here for Solar.
Yeah, so far it is unscouted, but the Drop Lord may be eyes on this. The Overlord speed is still just now beginning for Dark, so it's a ways away before we can get in. But I say that Overseer goes for the scout, and Dark, he sees all.
Will confirm the Spire. So immediately as a response to that, we see the Hydroden getting thrown down.
Hydroden is on the way. Meanwhile, Dark, he's just massing up more. Roach Ravager, Overseer Scout is going to confirm the Hydroden. Never mind, Solar, the Scout is barely denied.
Yeah, I mean, he can probably guess that Hydras will come in his way. He knows that he's got scouted, but it would be nice to have that confirmation.
Would be nice, as mutas are now on the horizon. It's going to be 8 mutas in total here for Solar. It's a decent amount of mutas going to be available, but alas, here come the Drop Lord towards the National Way. Solar does react in time. Up, up.
Yeah, Queen in position, but Queen is not going to be enough. Banelings will connect with workers. 6 of them going down. It could have been worse, but yeah, at the same time, losing workers at this stage of the game is not ideal.
I mean, look how low so many of these drones are. One more Baneling, one more big connection, and that would have been it for all those workers. Alas, we have held only 6 worker kills. It is manageable losses here for Solar, but alas, he is still behind. He's still trying to recover himself, building up his own Roach Ravager army, and the Hydras are revealed.
Hydras are revealed, but they are vanilla Hydras for the time being. Blue Spine's only now finishing up, so there is a way right now for Solar to try to outmaneuver them with his Mutalisk and just attack the middle line. He's actually going to go for Queens instead.
Yeah, the Queens try to hold their own. One Queen going to be going down at the same time. The main army for Dark catches the Ravager. Oh my god, almost does catch them. Alas, we have to pull back for a moment. It's going to be Roach Ravager from Solar versus the Roach Hydra from Dark.
And it's hard to really say who comes out ahead in the DPS at the very least here. I want to say Roach Hydra?
Roach Hydra has more straight up DPS, but the Biles here do force Micro out of the red Zerg player. Roach Warren goes down, massive pickoff here for Dark.
And with that, no more Roaches can be made right now for Solar. Dark has a decision to make, retreat or go for the kill. A little bit of unfortunate pathing here for our red Zerg. Does lose a couple of Hydras unnecessarily there.
It does bleed out Hydras, has to retreat, did bleed out quite a lot of units. Meanwhile, across the map, mutas have been dealt with for the most part, and it looks like they will be able to escape. Dark racing back home. Solar, he is maxed out.
And there's a massive window of opportunity for him right now. Sure, he lost his Roach Warren, but he also did a really good job of keeping a lot of his Roaches and Ravagers alive. He does remax with Lings, which is ideal against Roach Hydra specifically. Got a couple of Banelings, and things are going to change a little bit. Speaking of Banelings, actually Solar could be the one to turn every single one of his lings into Banes.
Yeah, and the goal here is to get on top of the Hydras. Hydras is just so fragile and so vulnerable here to the Banelings, so I have to give the edge to Solar. Solar is maxed out, has a superior army. We spoke earlier, even with just Roach Ravager, we saw how well Solar was able to trade against Dark, and Dark, he's up against the wall, has the Concave. Time is on his side, he's going to be able to rebuild, but again, I'm not entirely convinced by the army composition that Dark has to work with.
Yeah, he just is able to remax in time, but like you said, the army composition is looking a bit like a glass cannon. Banelings are streaming in, and it will catch a whole bunch of Hydras. Still plenty more Banes where that came from, and they will connect with the rest of the Hydralists, and just like that, we see Dark plummet in supply.
Yeah, Dark, his army melts against the Banelings, is trying to trade against the Roach Ravager, but GG gets called, and Solar fights back, tying things up 1-1.
GG. Nicely done here from Solar. Very, very smart decision to switch so heavily into those Banelings just to deal with those Hydras, because it did seem like Dark was overreacting a little bit to the Mutas. Overproducing Hydras there.
Yeah, we spoke about it in a head-to-head fight. Roach Ravager is superior to that of Roach Hydra, and to be fair, it wasn't just Roach Ravager. We had, of course, Banelings in the mix as well, which did add a little more complexity to the main army of Solar, and Dark just did not have the numbers, did not have the ability to defend against that. Not with that kind of army, not with Roach Hydra. There's a reason why we rarely get to see it, unless it's a stepping stone to something like Lurkers, which wasn't the case for Dark.
Yeah, it was not. Don't think Dark really would have time to get into Lurkers anyway, but usually is, like you said, where we end up anyways. Well, all roams.
All roams lead to Rome.
Yeah. As we get ready and get into game number 3 in a best of 3. This would be our ace match, but it is not an ace match this time, because we're in a best of 5. And 5, if you were not aware, is larger than 3.
It is.
Yeah, it's facts. As we load into Alcyone, where we're here in the top left, right hand corner of the map, starting all the way to the top right, we of course have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing his team, Talon Esports, with his, as is here in the chat from Babyling's big, meaty hands. We have Dark.
And sweaty, meaty hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's hot in Korea right now.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. Ooh, as our opponent is going for the gold, by the way, but our South Korean Zerg representing Team Vitality, tying up the series 1-1. It is a Solar.
He didn't do this against Lancer. He didn't do this against Nightmare. He did not opt for the gold base immediately against his Protoss opponents, but now, in a ZvZ, he's taking a massive risk.
Is taking a massive risk here to go for the gold in such a way. So far, Solar has not scouted, Solar has not confirmed, but the Overlord is poised, is primed to check the gold base, because this is not uncommon in this matchup. This should lead into an all-in, should lead into a Link Flood, a Link Bane aggression, or a Roach Ravager rush. We have options with the high-yield minerals. We'll see what Dark does embrace. Likewise, we'll see if Solar can punish this and shut it down.
Indeed, we shall. Hatchery is already finished up, and we'll see if we will commit a few more resources to try to defend it if we see a spine crawler or anything get thrown down.
Yeah, for now, we have yet to do so. We have our queens on the way for the time being, getting full saturation up and running. Meanwhile, the Overlord does confirm, so Solar is fully aware of what's going on. And again, it comes down to Solar to punish this as best he can. I imagine Link Bane aggression going to be on the horizon. Solar does stay in gas. What does that mean? Baliness is on the way.
Like so. We also see Solar stopping a little bit in the drone production just to be able to get more lings out. Going to be making their way not immediately to that gold base, but close by, so they can start to apply some pressure on it. And potentially throw out a couple of banelings as well. Solar, he wanted to keep this Ling aggression hidden, but Dark does see it.
Yeah, he does get eyes on the Ling aggression. He's fully aware of what's going on. Back at home, do we have any defenses? We have a Spine Crawler on the way. He just now started. Dark, does he have enough time to respond? Does he have enough time to get up his defenses, get them up and running? Meanwhile, Solar doesn't have to go for the gold. He could even just go for the main.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Okay, bobbing and weaving a little bit just to make sure that he can get a couple of banelings out, and there we go. Solar going straight for the main.
Well, meanwhile, the banelings are all in the way. Decent service area. The baneling does complete. We get one. Ooh, a decent connection of the baneling on the horizon as well. Meanwhile, the army coming in from behind. Lings and banelings going to be collapsing on each other, but Solar, he's going to be able to break through.
Like so, immediately gets a surround on top of that queen, and there's still banelings here remaining for Solar. So many banelings crash into each other. When it's all said and done, I think Sola did trade a bit better, but with the defender's advantage, Dark is going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, the Ling Bane trades with each other, but as you mentioned, Solar, he got 2 queens. 2 queens did go down. Dark, there was some big losses for the Red Zerg, but he can make up for those losses because he has the gold. Mineral income, well, sorry, the drone count is similar with each other, but the gold base does add that much more for Dark.
Yeah, we can see him really start to climb a lot higher in the income graph. Meanwhile, Solar, he is not content with the damage that he has dealt so far. He knows that 2 queens are good, but he still has that gold base to worry about, so he is just juking and jiving, trying to see if he can find or even force an opening.
As we corner the army, Lings are being shut down time and time again, and Dark, he has defended. He completely shuts this down, and he will force Solar back, and now this defense turns into an offense. Now, suddenly, Dark is moving out across the map, and this all-in is powered by the gold.
Oh yeah, we've stopped drone production for both of our players for a while here, as Dark is going to take the initiative, is going to send everything across the map, and Solar needs to build as many units as he can to be able to defend against this.
Yeah, exactly, as banelings have arrived. So far, Solar, he bypasses the banelings, moving out across the map, trying to force a big reaction out of Dark, trying to force him back home. It looks like so far he is. Nice kiting here out of Solar, is buying quite a bit of time.
Yeah, he jukes and jives with the Lings, and meanwhile the banelings are doing such a good job of staying hidden and going for flanks, zoning away the rest of Dark's Lings, and now Solar starting to come up ahead in the army supply, come up massively ahead in the baneling count.
Yeah, he does come out ahead. Ooh, 1 baneling does get triggered there a little bit prematurely. Meanwhile, we have 3 banelings on top of the ramp, but this time Dark, he is ready. He's in position in the main, which means we can ignore the main base, and instead we're going for the gold.
Yeah, which is perhaps the larger prize at the moment. The baneling will complete and will wipe out Solar's Lings.
Yeah, big connection there on those Lings. Dark, he's barely holding on. He shuts down the Lings, shuts down the banelings. Meanwhile, across the map, even going to be harassing, even going to be keeping this busy. GG gets called, and Dark, he survives the aggression. Dark will take a lead in the series.
GG, that came down to a knife's edge right at the very end there. I was ready to call it for Solar, but then Dark somehow was able to finish 1 baneling right on top of a full surround of Lings, and from there, that was the decisive trade that Dark really needed to keep the all-in going and make sure that Solar never could build up enough inertia to stop him. So.
Yeah. It was one of those things where Dark, he was bleeding out some Ling Bane, he was bleeding out his queens, he was able to trade well enough, and what's most important is that Dark did barely lose any of his economy, right? Like, for the most part, his economy was safe and sound, plus the gold base as well, so he was able to overwhelm his opponent, was able to keep up, and able to shut Solar down, and now suddenly, we're on match point.
We are on match point. 1 more map to go. Or no, 1 more map to go for Dark. 2 more maps to go for Solar.
Exactly.
Determine who is going to come out ahead here.
Can we get that ace?
Open Cup.
Can we get the ace match, or will Dark claim his series and be a back-to-back champion? Not back-to-back for ESL Cups, but champion in life. As he was our champion over the weekend, was able to claim victory here. Over...
Our champion. Yep.
Wrong Big Terran, yeah.
Champion in GSL, but not champion in Sparkling Tuna Cup.
True. Really, that's all that matters.
So yeah. He messed up motion sickness.
Motion sickness?
I guess I was doing like.
Oh, okay.
Hey, stop now.
Could just calm down. you shouldn't have done that again. Yeah, as you mentioned, we are getting into that next game. Potentially the final game of the series. Personally, I'm hoping we go to the ace match. The pressure is on Solar. If Solar wins this game, then we can force the ace match. Otherwise, if Dark claims this game, then he will claim the entire series.
Indeed, he will, which would be a bit of a shame, as our ace map, we have confirmation, would be on Ghost River.
Ooh.
I think that's like a real good map to just, you know, ape things up, if you will.
Real map.
Yeah, it's a real map.
With
ZvZ. Yeah, it's got the ghost, got the river. I've never seen the river, but yeah. Apparently there is one. Maybe it's underground.
Maybe it's a ghost.
Oh.
Maybe there was once a river throughout the entire map, and now it's gone. Oh, there
yeah, it's dried up. Global warming. Anyway, we're going to be continuing our series now on Site Delta, the vacation map, if you will. Over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Talon Esports with those big, sweaty, meaty hands. We have Dark.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. The pressure is on. It's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here from both of our players. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. At least the opener is looking standard, but we have loaded into Site Delta.
Yeah. Pretty normal map, but with some pretty abnormal features, like, for instance, this natural ramp.
Yeah, there
Makes
is.
it nice and defendable.
With the grass.
It has grass on sand.
It does have grass on sand. That is a.
Wait.
Is that? I know the beaches are a little bit different in Singapore. Do you have grass on sand?
I'm not sure if it can classify as sand.
Wait, do you have grass
Actually,
in Singapore?
I didn't. Yeah, we have a lot of like artificial grass
Okay.
and stuff coming out here.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, but it's like, you know, you have that period between sand and dirt. That's what the grass by the beach grows on.
Yes. Exactly.
So I'm not sure if it's sand or if it's dirt.
Good. Jesus. Dark, calm down.
Yeah. Really wants to take out these lings, and you know what? I don't blame him. That ling hits down the red. It's so low. It's a mockery. If you don't take it out, it's gonna weigh on you.
It does weigh on you, and so far everything's looking as it should. Something that you were alluding to when it comes to the base layout on Site Delta is the ability to go into dual ace play, but we can see that we have not skipped our Baneliness. We're not going into Roaches, so it looks like Ling Bane aggression from both Solar and Dark. I say Ling Bane aggression. We could just go Ling Bane into 3-base saturation into the mid game, or we could embrace chaos early on with the Lings and the Banelings. So we'll keep an eye on both Solar and Dark to see what we do embrace.
Yeah. Either way, something's getting embraced.
What's getting
As it looks
embraced?
like Dark is... the brace as arms, casts, neck brace, there we go. As
Okay.
as it looks like Dark is going to be the first player to opt for a bit more defenses with the Roach Warren, but to be fair, Soul's not too far behind in that regard. Neither player really wants to take too big of a risk here with their droning, but They're still going to get up to at least 2 base saturation.
Yeah, Link Scout does get into the main base, and we have just been droning from here on out. As you mentioned, Dark did make a faster roach one, and that is leading into faster roach production. True, but for the most part, we are still droning, and it looks like just a safety amount of roaches. We'll keep an eye on them. If we do continue roach aggression and roach production, then we can be more aggressive. But not yet, Dark. He is mixing in workers. He is, for the most part, droning.
Okay, so we're not going to have an explosive start that I think most of us are probably used to on Site Delta at the very least. I do feel like it's a map that lends itself a lot to early game Ling Bane, at least if both players do decide to grab an earlier third. And the onus is on who takes out whom's third base first to get a bit of an advantage, but this time we're just chilling, taking a step back. We're calming things down. We're letting the ocean breezes wash over us.
Yeah, once again, another fake out push here from Dark, just feigning aggression, but my eyes are on Solar, because Solar, he just made a wave of overlords. We're cutting workers at 46, and we are amassing roaches. There we go, more roaches on the way. Solar is committing. We've seen Dark fake aggression, but Solar, this is real. We're not saturating the third base, we're cutting workers earlier on, we're focusing and prioritizing the gases, and Solar is indeed going for the all-in.
Look at an army supply difference. It is heavily in favor of Solar, and Dark, this looks like it's a little too late, a little not enough, as he is throwing down his spine crawlers and rapidly trying to get more and more roaches, but he needs to buy himself a whole lot more time. He needs to make sure that Solar doesn't get on top of him before he can really gather his static D.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Like, the Queen's inside defense will add some extra defensive bonus here to Dark, but that is a lot of roaches knocking down the front door. Dark, he was caught droning, he was caught with his pants down. Roaches have arrived, spine crawlers are finishing up. Is it going to be enough?
We'll see. The Banelink surprisingly going to do a little bit to soften up some of these roaches in the front line. It does mean that Dark has a bit of an easier time taking out the weakened roaches, but now we have Lynx coming in, trying to get a full surround on top of these roaches. Biles are forcing a lift on top of these spine crawlers. It looks like Dark still does have queens in the back line. They are very low on energy though, so they don't have any transfuses available.
Yeah, and with these piles, it looks like Dark is being forced further and further back. The concave is too good. The reinforcement's too good as well. And it looks like Solar has done it. He's broken the back of Dark. GG gets called with the 2-base all-in, and Solar takes game number 4, forcing the ace match.
GG. Nicely done here from Solar, fighting fire with fire. Yeah, he was not satisfied after getting all in on Alcyone, so now going for the all in of his own does end up working out big time for him. Meanwhile, we're gonna be going to, which allows us to get into our ace match, and yeah, I guess wish has been granted. Going into the Ghost River.
We are getting into that Ghost River again. In that last game, Dark assumed he was safe and sound. Dark was droning. As a result, Darky was caught with his pants down. Bobby, they were all the way down. And Solo was able to catch him droning. Shout out to Solo because he did hide his build quite well. I don't know if you noticed, but Solo actually transferred workers from his natural to his third to make it look like he was droning, just to kind of deceive his opponent that much more. And in the end, it did work out quite well.
Did indeed. And now we're left one map ahead of us to decide who is going to walk away with no ESL points, I believe, this week, but with a little bit more prize money. As we kick things off, continue things now, conclude things on Ghost River, where we're here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left. We of course have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He of course is going to be representing his team, Talon Esports. We have Dark.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Vitality, fighting back, forcing the ace match. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to Ghost River. It is Solar.
I'm expecting the Ling Bane right off the bat.
Oh, okay. I mean, we are loading into Ghost River, short rush distance by ground, very high progressive map here available for both Solar and Dark, whether it's Ling Bane, whether it's a Roach Rush, whether it's a +1 carapace all in. My eyes are on our players, my eyes are on, I mean, they have to be on both Dark and Solar. They're both willing to embrace the chaos that is ZvZ. They like it, huh? They like it.
Yeah. Never one to shy from that aggression. My eyes, on the other hand, are in my head.
Okay. Are they?
But I'm going to be looking... I think so.
Oh,
I can't pretty sure they are, but... Yeah, but, exactly. You can't see your eyes, so...
True.
Your own eyes, so... How can you tell? But, yeah, likewise, I'm going to be looking at both of our players to see who is the first one to pull that trigger, who is the one to just embrace the chaos.
Triggers in Canada.
For now.
For now. True.
For now.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Yaku did let us know earlier that there are plans for Trigger to go to Korea in the upcoming months. Not just Trigger, but I'm sure many of the other Basilisk boys.
I believe it's the Basilisk boys, and I think Astrea's tagging along with them.
Yeah, Astrea.
Well.
He spent a lot of time in Korea last year. Has yet to go this year, I believe. I'm curious if Future is going to tag along. Maybe a bit of an NA crew to rock on over to the Koreas. Would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Bring back the on fire house, in a way, or the spiritual successor.
The no regret house, if you will.
Exactly.
Team Unity.
There we go. Yeah. But specifically the NA Unity boys. So it was like Special, Juanito, Scarlet, No Regret, like you said. Diego, Kelzer.
Diego. Dream team.
Yeah, the dream team, the Americas team. Migs, yeah. F's in the chat for Migs.
Can't spell America without Migs.
Exactly.
As of now, we're getting into our third base. So, Hatchcats will enter into our gases. No one did rush into early aggression early on. Meanwhile, my apologies, Dark skips the bathing nest going straight into roaches.
Very ballsy coming out here from Dark, but if he can survive long enough, then he is going to be the player with the massive advantage coming in here. I say that, but Solar himself is also producing roaches. But of course, he's not going to have as many roaches as Dark, just because he is focused a little bit more on his Ling Bane. Yeah, both players went for hidden roach warrens, but as you mentioned, Solar did make the bathing nest, so we have spent gas on the bathing nest, spent gas on bathings themselves, which means Dark should have a roach lead. For now, though, the Lynx are dancing with the main army. Roaches are still amassing back at home. We're still building up a force to move out across the map. This is still looking quite tense. Dark did drone, though. He droned up to 53, so he actually has an economy to work with. Solar does not. Oh, 27. Yeah,
never mind.
not for the time being.
I was looking at the wrong number.
No?
Never mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is very deceptive, yeah.
The economies there, they're cool. Actually negative.
Orange, yellow, why do they gotta be next to each other? Yeah.
True.
Color chart.
As once again, we do see Solar rotating and mainarding these drones to make it look like he's droning up. Meanwhile, he's still massing Lings, Roaches, and Banelings. So we are trying to get some good connections up. At the same time, Dark trying to catch some Roaches. Alas, he gets caught out instead.
Yeah, he does, but he also confirms what's coming his way. I do appreciate that Dark is taking this a lot more seriously this time. Now, he got bit once, so he's going to be shy the next round, as he is focused, not droning up, he is focusing very much so on his roaches, and he's going to have a bit of an easier time defending as a result.
There you go. There you go, as the Banelings do roll on forward. We're collapsing on the main army. Likewise, Dark able to take a slightly bit of trade here, has the concave.
Yeah, he does utilize his roaches to snipe the Banelings, and once they were no longer a threat, he just sends his Lings on forward to buffer for the rest of his roaches, and now it's Solar on the back foot.
Is on the back foot here as Dark is going to be moving out. Baneling does connect. Solar racing all the way back here. Army supply is slightly in favor of Dark. And can we catch out some of these roaches? The Lings, meanwhile, they're going to be able to get the reinforcements of Dark.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of making sure that Dark is always fighting with a split army, but once he's able to actually deal with them, yeah, Dark just collapses with the rest of his forces.
He does collapse in again, and just some slightly more efficient trades here from Dark with the mass roach production. With this, he does pull back for the time being, just consolidating his army. Meanwhile, Solar, he is in a bit of trouble again. He's barely holding on. As I say that, Dark is droning. Dark is droning up. Meanwhile, Solar is not. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Solar's going for an all-in.
He has had enough. He is just going for the straight-on all-in, whereas Dark is surprisingly able to keep up on the army supply despite droning up earlier on. The problem is he doesn't really have vision here on top of Solar, so I don't think he really is aware of how committed he is.
It's all about the army composition. So this is Ling Ravager. Most of the roaches should be morphing into Ravagers as we speak. Biles are going to be a big factor. Biles, if the Biles can connect, the goal here is the Lings, they lock down the roaches, and the Biles, they connect with the juicy center of the army of Dark. We'll see if we can pull this off. Checking the army supplies here. It's only 2 Ravagers for Solar. Is this really going to be enough?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be, as Dark now well aware of what's coming his way. Positioning his army, gonna be able to get a bit of a concave, but the Lings come in for a massive flank, and the Biles will connect on some of the roaches, but not all of them.
We catch out the Queens, and we're breaking.
Arguably.
Yeah, we're breaking left-hand side, but on the right-hand side we have Spine Crawlers, we have roaches amassing as well. Dark, he's holding the line. Biles, they're doing what they can, but alas, the massive army of roaches from Dark should be enough to overwhelm.
Yeah, so the Biles are connecting, but we don't have many Biles to begin with, so yeah, let's see if it's going to be enough. Lings are starting to trickle in here for Solar, but the reinforcements from Dark should be enough to keep them at bay. I say that, they're getting surrounded.
Yeah, the Lings are trading very nicely here against the roaches of Dark. We got full surrounds on so many roaches. Roaches are going down, very efficient race here. Solar, he has control of the third base. He gets us around to one more roach and goes for the hatchery.
Yeah, Solar, I think, correctly identifying that Dark doesn't have any Banelings available to him, doesn't have the ability to build any more Banelings, so these Lings of his own are just going to absolutely wipe house. GG is called, and Solar, with the committed pressure, is going to be able to take game number 5, becoming our ESL Open Cup number 234 champion. 234. Blocking the back-to-back championship here from Dark.
GG, well played. Solar doubling down. It looked like Dark was going to be defending. Remember, Dark, he had the higher drone count. Dark, he had the higher roach count as well. But the Lings, they did trade insanely efficiently when it came to surrounding those roaches. If we had enough to surround, then we could trade so damn well, getting so much DPS on those individual roaches did eventually overwhelm. And Dark was caught out. He barely wasn't able to hold on, barely wasn't able to defend, and Solar is once again our ZvZ champion, showing off his ZvZ prowess.
Indeed, he does. Very nicely done.
I don't call him the Serial Slayer for no reason.
Exactly. They call him that specifically because the ZvZ is really good.
True. Who knows?
That's the only reason.
But GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar as it takes the series. My condolences to Dark, but Dark played well for himself, making it all the way to the finals, making it all the way to the ace match as well. He did very well for himself. Alas, does fall prey to Solar, but it was very close back and forth. And I'm sure the next time they face, again, it can even go the way of Dark. And then back the way of Solar once again. They're both very comparable in skill in the ZvZ, and in the end, at least tonight, Solar does prove to be the stronger player and is our champion.
Indeed, he is. Very, very close series throughout. Looked a little bit, I was pretty confident for Dark at certain points, but then I was pretty confident for Solar at other points. It really was one that was very hard to predict. As as it continued to progress, as they just traded blows with each other.
Yeah, they did trade blows, and with that, we are wrapping up here for the night. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. This was, of course, this week's edition of the ESL Open Cup Asia. We're going to be back next week with more ESL Open Cup Asia action as well. My apologies if we were a little bit disoriented and a little bit tired, but neither what we didn't get to feed Snorlax.
Been a rough weekend.
Yeah, rough weekend back.
Rough weekend.
I'm going straight to bed after this one. Straight to bed so we can be back tomorrow. Our next broadcast is going to be in less than 24 hours. It's going to be in less than 12 hours, actually. We're going to be back in, I believe, 11 or 10-ish hours time with ESL Open Cup Americas.
Indeed. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing for you in the chat when we were talking about the On Fire Team Unity boys. That's why.
There you go. What's why?
Because we're coming back for ESL Americas.
We're coming back for the Americas, baby. Again, that's going to be in 10 hours time. I should be there for the beginning of it. I might tune in a little bit later if we're, you know, Dej and Bedge a little bit longer. So we'll see. We'll see how when and where we do wake up. But outside of that, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for ESL Americas. We'll see you tomorrow for WTL. There is going to be a catch-up World Team League cast in the afternoon of tomorrow, so bear that in mind. That will also be in less than 24 hours. And likewise, we have the rest of the week ahead of us. ESWC, the Esports World Cup qualifiers, are this weekend.
Indeed, they are, and there's still plenty of players who are a little bit surprising that they haven't really secured their spot in just yet, so we have to keep our eyes out for all of them to see how they progress and who is going to take up those final few spots in Esports World Cup.
Yeah, who is going to take them? We're going to be there to find out. We don't have full confirmation, but we will most likely be covering the qualifiers. There's still details have yet to be released regarding the specifics of that, but we should be all over the qualifiers as we usually are here on the channel. So consider following us if you want to tune in and take part yourself. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
It was 2-3-4 tonight. ESL Open Cup. Yeah,
2-3-4.
That's the number. 2-3-4.
That's math.
That's math.
There you go. Enjoy your shakshuka.
I already have.
Do you have any left over?
I don't. I ate a whole pan. It's in me.
You're like, it's all inside me, Papi. Oh. Oh, no.
Oh.
There you go. Take care.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Maybe everyone. Shack your shuka.
Yeah. Always shook your shack.
See you next time.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bella.